Today we're going to learn the proportions of a face. Now I want you to turn your page so that it's horizontal or in the landscape format, okay? And we're going to divide it in two, all right? And I'm going to draw an oval on one side with and I'm not going to draw very dark. You can't see my circle probably, but it's there because I'm using a number 3 pencil. So for you to see it, I'm going to actually use a marker. But I want you to draw a light. Remember, draw a light till you get it right. Now when I draw, I'm going to make sure that my arm is loose. I don't have it down on the table. The only thing that is touching the paper is the point of my pencil. Well, in this case, I have a marker. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a couple circles. There we go. Draw it really light. Get a good oval, all right? And I want you to do the same thing on the other side, okay? And draw it about the same size. So you'll have 2 ovals. Now don't worry about the one over here. We'll worry about this one over here for right now. Now, here's what's going to happen. We're going to divide our face up into a proportion so we know where our eyes are, our nose falls, and our mouth falls, okay? Now, believe it or not, between the top of my head and the bottom of my head, my eyes fall halfway. And that's always the case, so about halfway. And I'm going to draw a light line. Well, you're going to draw a light line. I'm going to draw a dark line so you can see my halfway point right here, okay? These are where my eyes are going to be. They're not going to go above, and they're not going to go below. But I'm going to draw 2 ovals for my eyes, all right? And they're going to, and half the oval is going to be above the line, and half the oval is going to be below the line. So I'm going to just draw 2 lines. And you notice that I'm doing a couple circles so I actually get it right, all right? Now, between this line and the bottom of my face, I'm going to come down halfway between this line and the bottom of my circle, and I'm going to draw just a small line right there. That's where the bottom of my nose is going to go, okay? Now, between this line and the bottom of my face, I'm going to go halfway, and I'm going to draw another line, and that's where my mouth is going to go. And that's your proportions for your face right there. Now, we're going to sit there and you can draw your nose if you want to. And then, of course, you have your eyebrows. And you just draw out your own. Now, for your ears, if you draw ears, most of the time, your ears fall between your eye line and your mouth line. Now, some ears are bigger and some ears are smaller. So if you have big ears, they'll fill up the whole line. If you have smaller ears, they won't be quite as big. All right, so those are some big ears right there. Yours may not be that big. After you draw your ears on there, maybe draw your lips. So between the edge and the edges of your mouth come down right below the middle of your eyes. So it's going to stop right here, because that's the middle of my eye. Over here, the middle of my eye, I'm going to stop right here. So that's the edges of my mouth. From the edge of my mouth, I'm going to draw the letter M, but it's going to be a really stretched out M. So, and sometimes you have bigger lips, and sometimes you have small. If you looked at my lips, you would see that I don't have very much lips at all. But I'm going to draw some lips up here so you can see it, and I'm going to draw just a big stretched out letter M. You can see the big stretched out letter M. And then below it, it's not going to go quite all the way to the edges, but my bottom lip is going to be a big stretched out letter U. And now I have some lips. You can actually draw your eyeballs in here if you want to. All right. And there you have the basic of your face. Now, for your hair, if you put your hand on top of your head, do you see hair right here? Yes, you do, because your hair actually comes down on your head just a little bit, and mine comes down a little ways. So I'm going to draw some hair in here. So my hair comes down just a little ways. And you can see a little bit right there. So I'll just draw my hair in here just a little bit. Right? There we go. There's my hair right there. All right. And we'll just leave it right there for the proportions of a face. Now, later on, you may want to add some things like glasses. You might have some freckles. You might have a mole. You might want to make yourself smiling. And we'll talk about that the next time around. But here's what I want you to do is get used to the proportions of the face. Your eyes are how far down your face? Halfway. And then your nose is halfway down from your eye line. And then from your nose line, your mouth is halfway down to your mouth line. And those are the proportions of a face. Your ears will fall in between your mouth line and your eye line usually. Sometimes they're a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes they're bigger, sometimes they're smaller. You just have to look, see, ears are quite different from person to person. But most everybody falls into this category right here, where your eyes are halfway, they're always halfway, and your nose goes halfway down. It may be a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. And then your mouth, same way, is halfway. It may be just a little bit more than halfway or a little bit less than halfway. People change a little bit from there. But your eyes line is always halfway down. And that's the proportions of a face.